What's good, Boxing World? BFV back in the building. Hit you with another one, too. Shout out to the team, G5 Jeff TV, VP Shane. Came to talk to you about the list that was presented by Joe Goosen and Sean Porter at this past weekend's pay-per-view. And I just thought the list is PBC friendly. You know what I mean? You got to be honest about that. There's a few guys that definitely deserve their respect from other promotions, such as Virgil Ortiz, such as Rashidi Ellis getting a good look on Sean's side. Obviously, you can see Joe Goosen's is really PBC friendly. And I'm not going to say that's unfair because this is their personal list. I just think, you got to really keep your eye on the landscape of boxing before you can say who's the best and who's not the best. I mean, obviously, these guys kind of got to fight each other and whatnot, but we know the mainstreamers are the mainstreamers, obviously, and they're going to kind of always get looked at as the best. And I'm speaking of your Bud Crawfords, your Earl Spences, you understand what I'm talking about? But you got guys like Boots Ennis starting to get their recognition, even though he has probably one of the best resumes in the welterweight division currently. Undefeated, knockout ratio is bonkers. So, you know what I mean? That in itself just says he should probably had already been gotten an opportunity or just gotten a look from one of these guys to really find out if that record is what it is. And that's coming, I guess, here soon. But just like I was saying, there's still other guys that are kind of in Boots' position that have been generally or currently being overlooked as top guys. And I want to talk to you about a few of them. I got a couple names. First name, obviously, to me, being a guy that was on that fast track for a minute, and that was Alexander Rasputin. But obviously, we know he has some issues with the finest juices, so shout out to G5 Jeff TV for that line. But that doesn't take away from his actual skills. He currently 15-0. You know what I mean? Got a decent knockout ratio on his own right. So when you start really looking across the landscape, you can't forget about guys like that. And then if you really look at their list, there's some guys on there that could probably take a step back. So I got to give kudos to my guy Jeff for pointing that out during the live yesterday. So hope y'all tapping into that Goodfellas podcast. He said Abel should be outside the top 10 based on what he's been able to do in the welterweight division as far as the opportunities and kind of not being successful against a guy like Ugas. So I kind of understand that. So you got to look to see who's replaceable if you're judging your list and kind of judging it against these guys' lists. So I look to say maybe a Cody Crawley could come and take Abel Ramos' spot. And that's fair. Cody Crawley's been in with a few names, been tested, still got a donut on his record. May not have the, let's say, the support that PBC's shown other welterweights, but he's got a look from PBC, so I think he's a guy that might have been overlooked by two PBC guys that we talk about currently, and Joe Goosen and Sean Porter. So another guy that's been on Showbox, I got this dude, Janelson Figueroa. Nice. I mean, hard hitter, hard worker, subject to taking some shots, so fan friendly, you know what I mean? So, I mean, these type of guys, and he's currently undefeated, 17-0. You understand what I'm talking about? So there's some guys, like I said, that are honorable mentions. They're fringe guys that you can kind of adjust your current list and taking a look at, you know what I mean? Maybe find a position for one of these guys. Then you got another guy like Sandor Martin, well-accomplished Spanish fighter, been around, more or less known for that 140 division, but moving up as obviously a lot of fighters do as they get older, put on weight. He was in there with Mikey, catch weight, close to 147. So I'm seeing him in a few rankings around. I do believe like the WBO got him ranked somewhere and things like that in the welterweight division. So I'm liking what I seen from him. I think he's a fringe guy that could be looked at because, again, he's a vet. So, you know what I mean? You're not going to you can overlook guys like that because they from across the seas, so it's not like we get to see them as often. But as I spoke on Emmanuel Tagu some time ago, just because we don't necessarily get to see every fight they've been in, you can't negate what the record is telling you. You can't negate what accomplishments they've gotten in the ring, certain straps that they've earned, things like that. So again, Sandor Martin is one of those type of guys for me that's definitely possible top 10 or fringe top 10 type of guy. You know what I mean? Again, so the names I bought you, they could be in, they could be out. But again, if you're just going to say that these two dudes' lists are it, I think that's wrong. But again, I'm not saying they're wrong for the list. I just think you kind of got to keep an eye on the landscape as you're judging the whole division of welterweight across the world of boxing. So big shout out to the guys I mentioned. And again, most of them undefeated. One of them, you know what I mean, a true vet, got a big win against a big name recently. So I think these guys are definitely honorable mentions in this welterweight top 10 list that you have or anybody else may have. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments section. As always, hit that like, subscribe, and I appreciate the support.